We're here at Pinewood Studios, one of the most famous studio complexes in Britain where they shoot Bond films and such like. We've got half a football pitch created with lines and a goal, etc. And we're going to shoot Cantona from a number of different cameras delivering his monologue.
He plays only with it. Not this.
And then the idea is that a couple of days' time we're going to go to Wembley Stadium, we're going to shoot a load of background plate shots, and then in post-production we'll put it all together and it will look utterly seamless, and you'll never know that Cantona wasn't in Wembley Stadium, he was actually here at Pinewood Studios. Realistically, it's always difficult to go and shoot on a big football pitch. At the Emirates or at Wembley, they're never particularly keen for us to lug loads of camera equipment onto the pitch, so part of what we do is kind of working around those restrictions and limitations.
The whole kind of idea behind this is no compromise. Don't compromise on what you watch, don't compromise on how you live your life.
And of course the person that springs to mind who has always lived his life in the most uncompromising way is Eric Cantona. He represents that word better than anybody else, I think.
If you could think of one word that could express exactly what makes, Eric one of the greatest footballers that's ever lived, or football the most extraordinary game, essentially it comes down to not compromising.
We've got a script that we're working off, but it's going to be also really exciting to give him a bit of free rein and to hear, in his own words as an actor, how he views this idea of compromise, what it means to him.
He's only interested in some games. Will never lift the trophy.
He's basically trying to find this word, one word that conjures up an extraordinary career in football, and reflecting on perhaps what made him one of the world's greatest players. The things that he's saying, I don't think any other footballer could say with any kind of authority or belief.
Great players kick dirt in the face of this world. I have a word for this world. No. And if you love football, you have to say the same thing.
He won't just kind of say whatever any company wants him to say, and he's passionate about what we're talking about, which makes it really exciting for us because his delivery is full of intensity and honesty.
It was always about Eric's performance and the presence and resonance and weight that it has, which I have to say is extraordinary.
It's a word I cannot say.
And you kind of do hang on every word.
On the pitch, he, without a doubt, the guy performed in a similar way to how he performs when he's either on stage or on set. And I think the theatre of Eric Cantona, as a footballer and an actor, they cross over brilliantly. There's something very powerful in what he's done today. He's performed fantastically well, which is that kind of combination of true believer in what he's talking about. He understands football, evidently, but at the same time, he's a guy who can act.
The fact that it sort of draws parallels with perhaps some of the things that are happening in the game today. No coincidence, really.
There's no one in the modern game that I can think of who has that gravitas to deliver what we want to do. So it's fantastic to be able to have him on set today for us.
Whatever happens in sport, you'll only get all of Sky Sports with Sky, including all 5 channels in high definition. Sky. Believe in better.
I always make people feel that they're going to be a collaborator. I usually show my work. I think that always makes people feel comfortable that they're in, maybe not safe, but at least interesting hands. They often know people that are in the portfolio and that loosens it up. But I think with him, I just invited him to the screen, showed him what I'd done yesterday. So he felt part of it, could see they were going to be interesting, and we're away. Actually, I became interested in football when I photographed most people on the Manchester United team, but he had left. So it's interesting, I feel like I do know his character without really having seen him very much. I think that people who look at a picture that had a performance behind it that had integrity are moved in some way. I found him far more like an actor than a footballer or a celebrity in any other field. He was really an actor. He kept on needing little words to have him in character, or the trench coat made him feel cold and windy. I spoke to him about an empty moor. I spoke to him about a house all on its own on an empty beach. And I could tell that he liked that, and also it's what I think of when I think of Eric Cantona. There's a distance and a loneliness and a strength in that, and they are feelings that I admire in people.
And that looks lovely. That's a beauty.
I think we have a commonality in finding a beauty in loneliness. We don't often know it, but I think that we all like the people who can stand on their own, the people that can be separate from the crowd. I think it's an atmosphere explains it best. They just come at me, and it's from a graphic point of view, it's a composition, the feeling they give me. An atmosphere charges what's normal and changes it into something very beautiful.
That is fantastic.
It's often much easier to edit a day or two later. Yeah, he felt all one of us. It was very nice, really, really nice. He seemed incredibly genuine, down to earth man. I mean, I really would welcome a friendship with him. I think he's a great guy.